Yes, hello. We are back with the next Into the Light developer live stream. The third one will be I think April 2nd, and then you'll get game and then I know I'll probably post gameplay on the 9th. But I'm not gonna take too much time and just get into it. Um oh,
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good day, and good time zone to you all. And welcome back to our second of 3 live streams to go ahead and talk about what's going to be coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light on April
yes.
9th. As a reminder, everything you're about to see is available to all players, just as was everything last week when we went ahead and had a chance to go ahead and walk through Onslaught. Now, today we've obviously got a few topics that we touched on last week. We got a new social space to go ahead and check out. We're going to look at some rewards, obviously, and maybe
Yes.
an up close and personal look at the Brave Arsenal. But of course, I'm not the only one who's going to be talking through it. I'm joined by an all-star cast of folks here from the Bungie development team, and I'm going to go ahead and go on down the line and introduce them. If you were here last week, you obviously recognize his face, but Tom Farnsworth, Senior Design Lead, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, yeah. And a little bit about myself here. I've been at Bungie for about 12 years, maybe a little longer. It's been a while.
A decade plus.
And obviously there's some stuff we're going to be looking at today that's kind of like full circle.
Yeah.
With, the Space Tiger logo and Into the Light there.
The Space
from the early days
Tiger
of Destiny.
logo.
And I've been fortunate to, I was able to place the Kavastov way back in Cosmo for y'all to pick up.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, that was something. Obviously, it was
foundation.
Teams are stronger than heroes is a big team effort, but there's a few things that I'm really having had a chance to work proud to interact with players. And then there's some things I'm a little more infamous for, like placing the drop pods and homecoming.
Yes.
So follow him on Twitter, let him know how you thought about that, right?
And then over the past few years, I've been working on seasons and things like the 30th and Into the Light
Very
as a
excited.
creative lead.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you very much for your hard work. As someone who's played a lot of it, excited to go ahead and dive in more with even more of it today. And of course, also we're joined by Chris Proctor, Senior Design Lead here at Bungie. Chris, for the fine folks at home who may not have heard you on a podcast or know anything about you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, Andy, thanks. I joined Bungie 4.5 years ago as weapons feature lead. For
Oh
Destiny
yeah, I
2.
remember hearing his voice.
So
in
Bungie
the
Destiny releases this will be my
Lightfall.
17th.
I meant Final
Into
Shape
the
thing.
Light.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going through like a bunch of greatest hits.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. We obviously have a lot of stuff to talk through with the Brave Arsenal today, and greatest hits, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. And of course, last but very not least, down at the end, the one and only Kelsey Rice, systems designer here at Bungie. Kelsey, how you doing today?
Systems
I'm
designer.
All right, well,
for having me.
obviously the third verse, same as the second and the first. For the folks at home who may not know you or know anything about your work, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Bungie?
Yes, I'd love to. First, yes, I'm a systems designer at Bungie. I've been here for about 2.5 years. And I work on a lot of fun stuff like quests and pursuits and progressions. Like
I see.
spreadsheet design, which
The
I really love.
fabric that holds all of our adventures together, honestly.
Yes.
Very
Basically.
exciting. Well, obviously, you've had a big hand Into the Light as well today. We're going to go ahead and dive into that here in just a bit. But,
Let
before we go ahead
me
and dive
turn
on,
it down a
is there
little
anything you
bit.
guys are excited about today in particular, or should we just go ahead and show rather than just tell? What do you think? Show it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and dive on in. Dive on in, rather. So we're going to start off. We have a brand new social space, the Hall of Champions, that we're going to go ahead and check on out.
The Hall of
Kelsey, show you,
Champions.
Kelsey's the one who's responsible for taking us through that. So
That
shall
is
you
the Hall-
return to the throne world, obviously, and dive on in?
Bring me your tithes.
Perfect. Excellent. There are tithes to be gathered.
Of course they're
Now,
making
while we're
that
on the way,
reference.
Tom, the Hall of Champions is a brand new social space here in Destiny 2. Where is this? Where are we gonna where's this place been? Why are we checking it out now?
So Shax has carved out just a little bit of the backstage of the tower.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a few little fun nods here to Destiny history.
Yep. All right. We're looking at it now on screen.
Yeah, we've got Kelsey on screen here. We got Sweepybot, and this is actually the lead up to the Hall of Champions.
This is where they keep it all the time.
Yeah, this is what, there's an off season for a lot of the holiday events.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And yeah, so a little snow there. There's some greenery.
This is interesting. All right, so we found a bit of the storage room to a degree. So he's carved out space maybe that has been hiding in plain view potentially for other sweeper bots or red jacks
Perhaps.
around the tower.
And there's some stuff from the Onslaught, this ADU.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Some little
Noah put it here.
That's interesting.
no, and all the space. Like, if we just take like, a
She's
step forward,
Stasis
there we go.
user.
There we go. Here's the Champions Hall.
Here
the
we
Hall of
go.
Champions.
All right, so this is the Hall of Champions.
And just like Zur kind of carved out
Wow.
Eternity for the 30th anniversary, Shaxx has kind of set this space aside for us, and Into the Light, where all your armor, your
Attune the
weapons,
Recluse.
your rewards. This is going to be your.
Ah, there's the Recluse.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Well,
I
Kelsey,
think.
can you go ahead and show us a little bit? We're going to go ahead and walk up here. We see a whole bevy of chests, actually. Let's go ahead and start there.
Yeah.
What are we looking at, and how do we go ahead and start cracking these open, rather?
Yeah, so as you can see, this space is just full of chests. As you can see here, all the class icons on the floor, a little bit like 30th. You can come here to redeem this currency, trophies of bravery. that
For
you get
armor.
From completing Onslaught and from playing the broad game in Destiny. So all of these trophies here, if you progress your hype with Shaxx, you'll be able to spend them here at all these chests to get a really cool set of armor. I can pull
Yep,
up my
armor.
character so you can see what that looks like on the Hunter.
That's right. Also, too, so for the folks at home, we went ahead and mentioned this as well online, but as a quick reminder, this is actually an armor set that's inspired by year 1 of Destiny 2. Tom, this is the
There's
parade
a
armor set, I
grenade
believe, is what we're referring
launcher,
to as?
and
So,
there's
like,
there's
it's
2
the-
grenade
the-
launchers as well.
Yeah, D2 year 1 parade armor.
And
That's
there's
yeah, yeah.
the
kind of
Recluse that it looks
homecoming.
like.
It's kind of a classic set. We're again like full circle here with
Yeah.
we were like beginning the Destiny 2 saga there, and now we're kind of ending the fight here. We're getting ready to take the fight to the Witness, and Shaxx has got this iconic set of armor. We're calling it the Parade Armor 2.0,
Yeah.
and everyone can.
Ah,
earn
Shaxx
it.
is
It's available to
there.
all players,
Excellent.
and there's some other
Cabals
customized
are there
show
as
here that can
well.
play with it too.
Very nice. And also, too, for folks out there, we have the Hunter here. Actually, Kelsey, can we check out the armor set one more time?
Yeah.
For the folks at home. Also, too, so this is an up close and personal look, obviously, at this armor set, which will be
Yeah.
available to everyone that goes ahead and jumps Into the Light. Also, too, there's
It's
a Titan set and a Warlock
interesting.
set, we should also say. That you can go ahead and see in the key art as well, but obviously this will be arriving on April 9th, so you'll get a chance to go ahead and go hands-on. But yeah, it's looking fresh, honestly. I wouldn't be upset.
Too bad it's not Artifice armor.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy,
it
and
was
there's some
really
others.
interesting, like setting all these, working on all this stuff because we were kind of waiting to finally see that set, and finally being able to equip it in game was just such a cool experience.
Too
Yeah,
bad
honestly.
it's not
All right,
Artifice.
so we're obviously equipped. We've got an armor set that we're going to
Because no one's gonna use it.
We're now hanging out with Shaxx, and is that our site over there as well?
Yes, that is our site.
I mean, you can
One
transmog
other-
it, but
one
no
more
one's gonna
chest I
use
wanna
it
point out
unless
here.
it's Artifice.
This one is going to be your hub for just grinding out weapons. So
Yeah.
those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shaxx, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll be able to get all your guns here. And this one here is we're bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. So
Of
if you need to
course.
catch up on your power level to make sure that you're like ready to hop right in, that's something you can do.
Of course, they're bringing it back.
Honestly, it's again, as a reminder, this is available to all players. So if you've got any friends that maybe aren't quite at that powerful cap, also too, actually, should double check. This will bring folks up to the powerful cap, was it?
Powerful, not pinnacle.
That's right. Okay, perfect. All right. So for your friends that want to
1800
go ahead and dive in right alongside
or
you, even if they
1750.
maybe haven't played, very much recently, they got a chance to go ahead and just catch right up.
They'll be ready.
Be ready for day one. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, perfect.
Ready for day one.
So
This
let's go ahead and
the
talk to
cap
Shaxx,
is
actually, starting point.
1750.
So how are we going to be working with Shaxx? Obviously, he's opened up his Den of Antiquities. to
Unless
us,
it's
but, Kelsey,
1800,
can you tell us a
which I
little bit
think
more
it
about that?
is,
Yeah, of course.
or
Yeah, so we can
1810.
pull out all the stops in defeating the Witness. So Shaxx has opened up his brave arsenal for us. As you can see, Shaxx is really like the shining star of this area. I've been kind
Yes,
of
we can
by all
tell.
these hollow Shaxxes that line the space, which I'll be happy to talk about in a moment.
Oh yes.
But yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he's got.
Lord of War.
So over the course
Ah.
of Into the Light, as you earn reputation with him, you're going to be able to progress and get all this cool stuff. One thing in particular I want to point out:
Super black
Interesting.
key.
this key.
A super black. key.
Completely,
Is that what I'm seeing
complete
over there,
weekly
Kelsey?
west
Yeah.
Interesting,
weapon
okay.
quest to
Yeah, I
unlock.
wonder where that goes.
So maybe people that are D1 vets potentially from back in the day might remember this. Is this what's this? What's this? Symbiote?
Is it an exotic?
Yeah, right now it's pretty powerful. It's in containment, but if you keep playing Into the Light, you'll be able to get access to the keys you need to unlock this. And get
Yeah.
access to the shader.
So good. All right. So obviously, too, yes, as a reminder, heads up to everyone. So one of the ultimate rewards available through this will indeed be the return of the Super Black shader. It's back. Finally, it's back. There's probably some song lyrics to go along with that. I couldn't tell you what they are, but
Is
I
it
will
just a
say to the
weapon?
Destiny Fashion subreddit, we are prepared for you to go ahead and take this on wholesale. So actually, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go ahead and just equip Super Black and give it a look really quickly. Oh, man.
Oh.
Chad, how do you feel? Come on. It does not get
Oh,
much better
I
than
like that.
Excellent.
Oh,
All
I
right.
like that.
So Shax is obviously going to be there to help us get rewards. In addition to the Brave Arsenal and the armor, Super
Oh,
Black
I
is
like
waiting
that
for us.
shader.
So tell us a little bit about Arsight as well. Actually, he's I'm not sure if many people in the chat know about him. He's usually lived in lore entries, but let's go ahead and get a look and see what we're going to be working with him on.
Yeah. So our site has a lot of quests for us. We did some pretty interesting things, in my opinion.
It's a
some of the quests you can pick
sniper,
up
grenade
from our site.
launcher.
They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very
Yeah, Pung Jerry.
fun puns that we had a lot. a lot of fun
Succession.
working on. So
Why are they
for every
remaking
single weapon
Succession?
that we're going to be talking about today, there's a corresponding quest. Once you've completed the quest for that weapon, you're
that
going to
one.
be able to unlock access to that weapon, dropping as rewards.
Oh,
but there's two
bullshit.
other really cool things that we can talk about there. One, we have these special limited edition appearances for the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah.
So completing these quests, you're going to get a guaranteed, curated copy of these limited edition weapons, which I'm happy to show. They look rad. And you'll unlock attunement, which is something I can talk about in a second.
Attunement.
Yeah. So let's take a look at some of these.
So here's
The
look, of
mountaintop.
course,
Yeah.
Obviously, for the folks at home, they may remember this one. I get a hunch that chat obviously.
Why
is
does
a
it
little
still
excited,
say
but, I know,
1830?
it's so exciting. The mountaintop
Weapons
doesn't
aren't
matter.
1830 unless
So this
they
is,
have to be
for the
raising the
mountaintop,
power
obviously,
cap.
Chris, we're going to dive in more with the
Because they
whole,
wouldn't do
Brave
1830
Arsenal
as
in a little
the
bit, but
weapon.
This is, I believe she touched on the limited edition versions of these, the ornaments that exist on there. Can you tell us a little bit about what the limited edition variants of these are that are available over the course of Into the Light?
Sure, yeah. So the Brave Arsenal weapons will drop from Onslaught, and we're talking a little bit about attunement and whatnot here. There is a low chance that one will drop as a limited edition variant, which
So there's
comes
gonna be two
pre-equipped with a
variants.
super shiny ornament that's locked to that weapon.
Yeah.
So the its transit here is
The grenade launcher is kind of
these
an
are
L.
kind of exotic levels of fancy.
Yeah.
So you can't apply shaders to the ornaments. You have to remove the
Falling
ornament first.
guillotine.
The ornaments will only be available up until the final shape launches.
Yeah.
Limited edition variants.
Makes sense.
So
Rip.
those versions will continue to be available.
All right.
So that
the
means.
ultimate I was there version with the limited edition on there, but other than that,
Oh,
after the final launches, people
you
will still be able
best
to get
believe
these
I'm getting
weapons and
all of
keep farming
these.
for 'em.
Yeah, there's like they have super cool visuals. They drop with double perks in both trait columns.
Oh, double perks.
Differences. So if you've got a
Yes.
base weapon, you don't need to go and get
Just cosmetic.
cosmetic only.
Fair enough.
I don't care. Cosmetic is
All right, we're
best.
gonna be able to test these out in a little bit. So, obviously, we're going to go through all of these here in just a bit. Chat, there's a taste of just a few. We're glad that you get a chance to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, for the folks that want to go ahead and farm these rolls out. Kelsey, I believe you just mentioned attunement. Can you tell us a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yes, I'd love to.
Attunement.
So, one cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at our site, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon you really want to drop. You can bend luck in your favor and make it more likely for that weapon to appear. So, for example, I can do that now. Let's do Recluse.
Yeah.
So
Chat seems to be pretty hyped on Recluse.
Yeah, it's a void
if you're
SNG.
looking around, you'll see there's all of these shaxes everywhere, which we just had an absolute blast working with and coming up with. And once you've unlocked attunement, you can just freely do this at any time. You can change your attunement any time. You can choose which weapon has a higher chance of dropping. So I'm going to do that now. Okay.
There we go.
Got our thumbs up. We're
Get
good.
the affirmation from Shax. Never hurts.
Yeah, I can always use more affirmations from
It never hurts, honestly. He shouts them very effectively, I might add.
Yes. So yeah, at any point, you can just visit another one. I could even just go and, unattune and reattune to my heart's content. Just once you've unlocked it, you can do that at any time. Awesome. So yeah, pick your favorites that you want to chase, and you'll have a much higher chance of getting them.
Excellent. All right. Obviously, the Hall of Champions has a lot in store. There's even more, obviously, chat than is even here. But we see what you're saying in chat. I feel the electricity in the air. I should also note one more thing. You should all go out and farm with impunity to go ahead and get the roles you want ultimately, because with the arrival of the final shape, we'll indeed be adding 100 more vault slots. So go out there, grab the rolls, grab
Say
27 of them,
less.
transit, and hold on to them until you get a chance
Say
to reveal which one has the
less.
god roll. All up to you. But we just wanted to let you know that with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be getting 100 more vault slots. So go ahead and dive on in.
Attune Elsie's rifle.
Excellent. All right. I think that's a solid tour of the Hall of Champions. I think maybe at this point we go ahead and start diving on in with the Brave Arsenal. Tom, what are you thinking?
Yes.
Hop in. Let's go clean out some lost sectors.
There we go.
Lost
We got some
sectors.
demos to run as well. All right, everyone. So this is as a quick look at the Hall of Champions as well. Now we're going to go ahead and dive on in and look at the Brave Arsenal. Now, Chris, obviously you were intrinsically involved with kind of setting this whole thing up, with building the Brave Arsenal, deciding what was out there.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys landed on this iconic set of Destiny weapons for Into the Light?
Yeah, and we all have our own favorite weapons internally, and wanted to make sure that we delivered on a ton of nostalgia for the whole like Destiny 2 weapon set.
Yeah.
If you look on Reddit or Twitter, there are hundreds of weapons that these could be.
Yeah.
Had to narrow it down to 12.
12.
We couldn't reasonably fit any more into the activity.
Yeah.
Blast
We couldn't
furnace.
necessarily afford to make many more than that.
Here we go.
So it's a whole set of weapons from across Destiny's history. A few recent ones. Most of them are from earlier in D2's
Yeah.
history.
So for those who have been terrorized by Blast Furnace and the Crucible, it's back now,
Mountaintop.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hung
so Tom,
Jerry,
just kind of walk through these.
Succession,
Let's go ahead and take us at a Hung
maybe
Jerry, I see
Midnight
next as
Coup?
well.
Sure, I can just. Do you want me to
Okay,
I'll
start
just
with the
mouse
blast.
over them here. Blast Furnace, Hung
Hung
Jury.
Jerry.
Jury returns as well.
Rewind
For
rounds.
anyone that hasn't had a chance
Midnight
to dive into Deepstone
Coup.
Crypt, they can get their hands on a raid weapon as well.
Yeah, I should just touch on Succession. And
Excessive
pretty
failure to
small rounds
kinetic
as well.
charge.
But these are fairly recent weapons, but
Yeah.
they are, by default, you have to own the release that those raids came out in. So you have to own Beyond Light if you want to get Succession. You have
Right.
to own Witch Queen if you want to get Forbearance.
Yeah.
The Onslaught versions of these weapons, or the Brave Arsenal versions, are
Wait a
very
second, did they do
significant in terms
Forbearance?
of what, like, the raw power of a raid weapon.
Yeah. Which honestly, once you get Succession in your hands, suddenly everything feels so alive. Like it's like a ton of bricks. Let's see. We also have, there we go, Midnight Coup. For anyone who watched last week, thank you, Noah, as well, for going ahead and showing this off. Midnight Coup obviously makes an incredibly triumphant return. Actually, can you adjust it just so it shows the waves in the shader, Tom? There we go. There we go. That never gets old, honestly. Harkens back to one of my favorite times in the Black Armory. Excellent. All right, so we have a full list here. So we've gone over all of them in the primary slot. Let's go ahead.
There's
and move
4
on
in
down to
each
the
slot, I
green
assume.
Ammo selection as well.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Forbearance, I
chat,
see
we've all
that.
noticed that. We're just as happy that it's back as you are. Let's go
Lyrical
ahead and
list.
take a look at what else we got in store there.
Luna's Howl,
Luna's
yep.
Howl,
That
of
one
course.
was,
Actually, in
I
particular
could
with Luna's
tell.
Howl, I know we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but these weapons are not necessarily their previous estate, just kind of held in stasis. But you guys have brought them forward with new perks. You've kind of done some redesigns as well. With Luna Howls in particular, you were mentioning that the Magnificent Howl perk has undergone.
Heal
rework as
clip
well.
and kill clip.
Yeah, in its original shipping form, that was way too strong because it would let you 2-tap a Guardian in PvP incredibly fast with the perk up.
Yeah.
180 RPM. So we've brought Luna's Howl forward as a 140 RPM hand cannon, but it retains the precision frame, so it's super easy to control the recoil.
Yeah.
We've also redesigned the Magnificent Howl perk, so that now lets you build up stacks of super bullets, a little bit reminiscent of Hawkmoon,
Yeah.
with precision fire throws.
Reminiscent of
And then
Hawkmoon,
you can
yeah.
unleash those on Guardians to do massive damage. You can get a 2-tap, but it requires a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
And obviously very
Yeah.
strong in PvE as well.
Yeah, got to bide your time and actually land those headshots.
Yeah.
I'm saying that mostly to myself in the mirror as I get upset for losing another round of trials, but
So we had 2 hand cannons in this release, Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl.
that's right. Yeah.
We assigned those to 2 different designers.
Yeah.
And there's a competition going on to see which one is more popular or is more effective.
So everyone out there in chat right now should let us know which one of those 2 ends up being their favorite.
Yep.
We have an actual debt to settle internally here by the sounds of it. Which one do you think is going to win, Chris?
I'm a little biased.
Little biased?
I have my Midnight Coup from the Leviathan raid still in my vault.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeply attached to that
Is
weapon.
that also
enough. All right.
Recluse? Or is it a different
All right.
version?
Also
Elsie's
So
rifle.
actually, here's a cool one as well.
Yeah.
This is no longer the Stranger's Rifle. This is Elsie.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
Elsie's no
the.
longer a stranger.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, this is a really iconic Destiny 1 weapon that
Huh.
anyone who played through the Destiny 1 campaign would have acquired as
Yeah.
the Stranger's Rifle.
I
It's come
remember
forward
getting it when I
with
played
as
D1.
close to its original feel as we could manage, updated for the Destiny 2 sandbox. It's got a ton of cool new traits. It's really very, very strong, high impact
Yeah.
pulse rifle.
I hope they're
It's
good.
running the rewind rounds perk.
Rewind
which we made
rounds.
for Bolt of Glass.
Yeah.
The D2 version, which harks back to the original perks on the Stranger's Rifle in D1 as well.
And this one already looks filthy, if I might say, with Zen Moment and Desperado on there. Like
Desperado, yeah.
Did the room get colder, or what just happened? Honestly. And also too, so there's a new. Actually, as long as we're there, Tom, if you wouldn't mind actually opening that back up, there's a new origin trait. Pardon me, as well.
Indomitability.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, the Indomitability trait.
Final blows grant grenade energy when
Final
playing a
blows
light
with a
subclass or
subclass
melee
equipped
energy when
with
playing a dark
grenade
subclass.
energy, and with the dark subclass equipped, grant melee
Oh, that's
energy.
interesting.
So you get like that sort of duality.
That's
and they're
quite
really super strong
interesting.
perks.
Yeah, designed to keep you in the fight either way.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, let's go ahead and keep checking out. What else do we have in store here?
Yeah, Forbearance is back.
Forbearance as well. So this is you were talking about, obviously getting that taste of raid weapons.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and bring Forbearance forward also too into the light? Like, what did you add new perks into the pool, or what did you guys end up doing to kind of retain that classic feel?
Yeah, so we wanted
He
it to
didn't.
feel like the Witch Queen version, but with slightly updated perks. So the perk pools are fairly similar, but with a couple of spicy additions. So you'll notice Disruption Break left column on a waveframe grenade launcher, super strong.
Yeah.
It's not something
Yeah.
you get on the original
Gotta
version.
be disgusting.
Yeah, but it's got all of the old classics.
Yeah.
It's got the new Indomitability origin trait instead of the Soul Drinker trait, and that's the same is true of any other weapons which had.
I think the other Forbearance is still gonna
So good with that.
dominate.
And of course, I think was that a limited edition ornament on the Recluse as well that you have over there?
Yep. There's a base and
Yeah.
Look at the
let's take a look.
in the gym.
There we go. That's again the ultimate. I was there. As you go ahead and
I'm
begin your
getting it
showdown
on all-
with
at
the
least all
witness
the
with your
weapons I
rival in final
want.
shape. Doesn't hurt to have one of these sitting on your hip. Obviously, you
Yeah.
make a statement the moment you walk into the room.
Yeah, and this one is the curated version. The natural drops of the limited edition variants do have
Double perk up. That's right. And
Yeah.
excellent. And of course,
There's
our
only
beloved
3 heavy
Edge Transit.
weapons.
Yeah,
Couldn't
when
keep
we
it
were-
away if we wanted to.
When we were looking at the fan favorite weapons, like we wanted to bring forward some of the strongest weapons from Forsaken.
Yeah.
He has like fond memories of blasting away raid bosses with that transit.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. There's amazing memes associated with this weapon.
Yeah.
We actually brought it forward as one of the strongest heavy ammo grenade launchers.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were talking about that earlier. You're saying this.
But
one
we're
is
not in a
actually
heavy
a
ammo.
ton of
I don't.
breaks now.
Are we in a
you
heavy
can see some of the
grenade
perks
launcher
there.
meta? I don't
It's
think we
pretty
are.
I mean, honestly, yeah, this is pretty,
I
pretty
mean,
good.
I mean,
This is one that
people
would
may
obviously find
use
a home in
it.
my loadout, my void one specifically, but I'm also picky about that kind of thing.
A lot of these
All right, what else do
weapons
we
are
have here
void,
in this
so
one?
that's
Well, the one
unfortunate.
and only the falling guillotine. Now, actually, one thing that you mentioned as we were kind of talking about this earlier as well that was kind of cool is this is also going to be probably the first sword outside of those available in Crota's End, I believe, that has sword logic. on
And
as
it
well.
has Eager's
Yeah,
Edge.
that's what roll with sword logic.
Seemed like
Sword
a great
logic.
opportunity to put that perk on something that isn't from that raid
Yeah.
a little bit earlier than we would normally put raid perks onto a new weapon.
Yeah.
Sword
Also gonna
logic.
chat here for a second. Is that Eager Edge I see on there?
That is
Yeah,
Eager's
Eager's
yeah, that would
Edge.
only be the second sword outside of 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Have access to
It
that.
would
trait.
basically just be the slammer and then the falling guillotine
Yeah,
from that's it. That's actually exciting.
Yeah, and this one has like the classic void perk combo of repulsor brace,
Yeah.
destabilizing rounds. It's really fun, and a lot of other strong.
Well, I think that other
Yeah.
sword just got. I think the
And then,
new
of
sword.
course, we're also
Huh?
joined
Maybe.
by the hammerhead.
Yeah, like
Hammerhead,
almost
honestly.
every
As long
single
as
weapon
as
is
long as you're dipping your
void.
toe into the world of the Black Armory, this
I
is
hate
obviously
it.
one that has to come forward.
Everyone's favorite legendary machine gun.
Yeah, seriously.
You can't go past it.
It just from the sound to the rate of fire, everything about it just is one that lives on in my memories and my dream journals. Honestly, at this point. This
Well, I
fantastic.
wonder.
All right, so we have a whole cast of characters. Now, Tom, you've got some loadouts set up. You've got some lost sectors that you're going to go ahead and start diving in on. I vote you go in there and start tearing it up.
Yes, please. I want to hear
Oh,
these
we're already there.
weapons.
Okay, that's fantastic.
The classic mountaintop recluse combo here.
Yeah.
And there's some new stuff with Mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
Right. So I'm so glad we got to that point this early because
New movement tech.
one of the things that was really cool about sort of seeing this development process behind the scenes was, obviously one of the core tenets was to make sure that you're retaining that classic feel of these weapons. and kind
The
of what made them so
movement
great to begin with.
tech
But you kind of had
increases.
some redesigns and expanded even just on the loot pool, or pardon me, on the perk pool rather. How did you guys kind of go about the process of sort of rebuilding these weapons for this modern era of Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit kill even with a direct hit in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So we've reduced that a little bit.
Damn.
But we also saw how excited people were for
Fuck,
the Danger
man.
Zone rocket launcher perk, launching you into the air. So we've made that part of the base behavior of the new micro-missile grenade launcher. In
Base
Physics.
behavior.
So we do super low self-damage and give yourself a massive physics impulse.
Yeah. The Team Fortress 2 soldier mains are just suddenly dusting off their rocket launchers in real time right now, obviously. So obviously, too, is going ahead and adding just not only to the perk pool, but kind of the intrinsic feel of these weapons. Were there any others in particular when you guys were working on them where you're like, yes, this is how this change needs to go? Like obviously, Magnificent Howl got to change, but is there anything else in that pool that feels like it was really kind of a cool leap forward for these weapons?
I think Blast Furnace is a good example because the Black Armory version rolled with scopes, which, like, everyone would just pick the best scope. Like, internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA scope was, like, by far the best. Really, really clean.
Yeah.
And with the changes to damage fall-off on weapons, zoom doesn't matter that much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So it comes pre-equipped with that scope geometry, but it can roll barrels instead. So you get all the benefits of stats.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Stats are already pretty juiced.
Yeah.
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also, too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable. Is that correct?
Yep, not
Correct,
craftable.
yeah.
I knew
So,
it.
These weapons will retroactively be enhanceable when the final shape comes out. So
Yep,
any
I knew
drops
that
you
was
get,
coming out.
during this initial period, you'll be able to enhance them.
Excellent. Okay, so you want to make sure to really hold on to those god rolls that Light.gg went ahead and told you about. Yeah. All right, so Tom, you've swapped your loadout now. Is this Blast Furnace we see you were?
Yeah, you were just talking about Blast Furnace, so I thought I'd hop over to it.
It's thematic, yeah.
Nice and smooth, like it always was.
Oh, it's a Photoshop. Burst
Kelsey,
frame
actually,
as
too,
well.
on your side, obviously having this new tapestry of rewards to work with has been pretty exciting. As you kind of went ahead and sort of hatched your plans of how players would go about getting these, kind of what role did these weapons play, I guess, in the overall reward structure?
Yeah, of course. So we wanted the rewards of this release to be all about the weapons and
Yeah.
the shining stars.
Okay, yeah, that
they're
actually
awesome.
feels nice to shoot.
So I saw
That
people
looks
were asking
nice
a
to
little bit
shoot.
about what we're going to be getting from Onslaught.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chests in there, and every single chest has a weapon in it, and all of those chests can react to attunement. So if you attune to a weapon, anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So
Excellent.
every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are two chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep the ADU alive throughout the entirety of Onslaught, there's another bonus chest available. So you can get a lot. If you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there, keep the ADU up, there's a lot of guns to be had.
So those folks who are going to dive into the Legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts. I'm asking partially for myself, obviously, as well, and my fire team at home who might be listening.
Weapons team is really excited about attunement because it gives players some control over the drops that they get, but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like you will get your Blast Furnace dropping from the chest. You don't have to go and focus it or anything like that.
Yeah.
We love that.
Actually, also, too, is, you guys are also players of the game. Chris, were there any roles or weapons in particular where it was just your personal favorite that you had a lot of fun with in a playtest, or?
Probably of these weapons, my favorite is Blast Furnace.
Yeah.
With that classic scope and the role that I've got on mine, the role that I'm going to try and get in retail, is Headseeker Kill Clip, which is just really nasty in PvP.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to. I'll put another few hundred hours in Crystal.
I'll be right there with you, honestly. The moment I can put Dead Man's Tail down again, then that will be the one that'll pick up immediately after. Kelsey, also too, is I know we were talking a little bit earlier. You've been deep into the Onslaught playtests as well. So that means in addition to the Brave Arsenal, you've got everything else at your beck and call. What are some cool builds you've been working on, honestly, to go ahead and really emphasize these new weapons?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Solar Warlock. I found is really fun in Onslaught because you can find a lane and just completely nuke it if you get your like unlimited grenades going. You can just completely destroy. So I've been really partial to Luna's Howl.
Fair.
Yeah, I tend to get a little feral, a little too excited. Sometimes having like heal clip on it or something can give me that extra staying power I need to keep that ADU up.
It's part of, you got to be in the fight as much as you possibly can, and I say that partially as a Void Hunter who crutches on invisibility and runs away right away, so I understand and respect the hustle that I don't end up having. Also too, we got a question from chat from Lil Camino, I think is how you pronounce the name. My mistake if you get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those sweet ornaments will not.
Excellent. All right. So again, make sure you go ahead and dive on in once Into the Light is here, and make sure you get that I was there card, more or less. At least
I
again,
will.
for myself.
I will be doing that.
So also too is I heard you guys mention briefly curated roles as well, because kind of like a part of the quests process, was it with Shaxx or our site rather?
With our site, yes.
Thank you. That's right. So is this one that you guys have set up where it's like this is the go-to role? This is from our opinion, like one of our favorites, or what was the process of kind of building those curated roles?
Yeah, we try to deliver something which is like an extremely good role, not necessarily the single perfect role, because we want you to have a reason to go and get excited for those drops.
Yeah.
But like we would say, they're 70-80% god roll.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. On the way, certainly.
Yeah.
And also too is remember everyone, we're getting 100 more vault slots once the final shape comes out, so go ahead and just farm away. Now's the time. Sorry, Kelsey, were you going to say something more?
Yeah, we also just wanted to make sure people weren't completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting these limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each weapon with that curated role.
See, we're getting, again, I think, obviously, Tom is here in the heat of battle, so to speak, but the origin trait, we just got another question about, actually. So for the folks at home, it's Indomitability, or?
Yes.
Thank you, all right. And that one, can you, again, walk through that origin trait for us one more time?
Yeah, so on Final Blows, it grants you grenade energy if you're running a light subclass.
Oh my
Here we go, we got it on screen.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, which would be
It's just gonna be like
or melee energy if you're running a darkness subclass, which would be stasis or strand.
Got it. Okay, so I can go in. There's a stasis man and just throw all the shurikens I possibly have.
that's gonna be
Is it more technical than
interesting.
that? I'm sorry, I got it wrong out of the gate.
For sure,
all
it's
let's
gonna
see
be
here.
interesting.
And also too, actually, we talked kind of at the beginning about what it was like to sort of pare down this list of weapons down to 12. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? I can't imagine it was anywhere near as simple.
12 is a really small number when you're looking at that set of weapons. And if we'd gone by lists on the internet or even internally, it could easily have ended up being half hand cannons. We had to restrict ourselves to 2.
Fair.
There were a lot that could easily have made the cut that we just couldn't fit them in.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, though, between Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl, like a very, very solid cast to go ahead and come out of the gate here with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really strong. And we definitely wanted to get that spread of experience across the first few years of Destiny 2 as well.
Yeah, honestly. And also, too, is even, recalling all the way back to the Black Armory. That's, I think, a set of weapons that so many of us think back to so fondly. Again, I think one of the goals here was to go ahead and retain that original feel. You guys went ahead and added in a bunch of new perks. Can you tell us what that process was like in terms of making sure those perks matched up with that feel of the weapon?
Yeah, and in cases where we have multiple weapons in the same archetype shipping, so we've got 2 pulse rifles, 2 hand cannons, we assigned those to different designers and made sure that the roles that they occupy in the sandbox were sufficiently different. We also would look at the most popular roles that the weapons had originally and make sure that those still appear on the weapons. It meant having to redesign some perks, which would be too strong in today's sandbox.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But yeah, and then introducing, like when you go and you look at a blast bonus in your vault or something, you're like, man, I wish I could roll X perk that came out after that, right? And made sure we put a few of those in there as well.
Yeah, and there's also, I'm not sure if we've seen it on screen yet, but there's a new perk that'll be joining this pool as well, won't there?
Yeah, there is. There's in this build, it's called Last Stand. The shipping name is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Oh.
a pretty sweet perk. If we could bring up the description of that when Tom is out of danger.
Which weapon is that?
Blast
There
and
was one, it was on Blast Furnace, I think. Yeah.
blast
Oh,
and.
there we go. All right, well, we'll let him defend himself
Yes,
briefly.
yes.
But we do have a couple questions from chat as well. So there's one that asks, Flo's Knuckles, I believe. There we go. Can we grind Onslaught multiple times for multiple drops? I'm assuming this is just go ahead and dive on in and grind to your heart's content.
Yes, you'll be getting weapons every run. You'll also be getting currency from
Ah,
chests that
I
you can
see.
bring
That's
back and you
interesting.
can, throw in that chest that I showed you, so you can just keep opening that chest. So yeah, just keep going.
Dive on in, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and chase that roll, whatever you want. Also, too, one more quick question from chat. Mega125358, pardon me, Mega, asks, can you take the limited edition ornament off and put it on another copy of the weapon, or is it just
Probably
on that one
not.
weapon?
So you can remove it, you can't put it on something else.
Yeah.
It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, honestly, when it looks that good, you just gotta go ahead and stick with what you got, you know?
Yeah, if players have a favorite shader that they want to put on a weapon, they can remove it and put the shader on.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't shade the ornament.
You can go ahead and photo finish it up to your heart's content, obviously, that opportunity. Or super black, obviously, when the time arrives. All right, let's see. So, Tom, what are you running right now?
I've just been hopping around with all the weapons here. Now I've got Blast Furnace and Elsie's rifle on. I know double primary isn't always meta, but
We're gonna make it meta for the sake of this
they're both
particular lost sector.
pretty solid weapons.
For the purposes of illustration.
Blast
Now,
and.
here's that new perk that you both were talking about, Last Stand. On
Again, reminder, this
Blast
name will be
Furnace.
changing in the live version.
Yep.
Oh,
So
rude.
weapon final blows grant bonus damage.
Yeah,
Melee
it's
and
an actual
grenade
good
final blows grant
perk.
a large
Good
damage
name for
bonus
the
that can
perk.
stack. So once you get this perk really rolling, it's very strong.
Yeah.
To sustain it.
Nice way to go ahead and clear out a bunch of red bars and then take down that yellow bar with ease if
Yep.
you go ahead and do everything correctly.
Yeah, it ties nicely into the origin trait as well, because the origin trait grants you energy for your abilities, and then you get bonus damage for getting ability final blows.
Yeah, really creates creates that loop. Honestly, you just become the self-fulfilling prophecy of death at that point, which as a guardian is never a bad place to find yourself, frankly. Let's see here. Actually, also too is, I know we touched obviously on Chris's personal favorite being Blast Furnace. Kelsey, was there anything when you saw this land back on the list of the Brave Arsenal where you were like, finally, that one's back?
I was real excited about Luna's Howl.
I mean, that's just smart, honestly. That just makes sense. Tom, how about you? Is there anything in particular that obviously having taken such a big hand in helping design and sort of define all this stuff, what are your favorite weapons and roles that have come out of this?
I'm pretty basic, pretty easy. I really am excited about Recluse and Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like I just love that combo of being able to like get in close with an SMG and get the damage perk going and feeling really powerful, then being able to switch to the grenade launcher and fire off some like little mini rockets and be able to play around with getting a little more airborne is just like, it's just fun.
Can already imagine some Strand Hunter doing that above me and then immediately diving on top of me in the crucible.
And I look forward to like, accidentally blowing myself up, but it's a lot harder to do now. Like I remember with Mountaintop back in the day, I would just like shoot my feet on purpose and like it was usually like an instant death, and so you can really you get a lot more up close and personal with it.
Yeah, let's see. Fit nicely into a lot of builds. I can already see a Tommy's matchbook build with that.
Yeah.
Just floating up there, and this guy is a warlock just murdering everyone. But that is to say, now there's an opportunity for more than just warlocks to be the floating weapon platforms out there in the game. I know, Nancy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can share.
Yes.
No,
share
we
the
can't
abilities.
share.
Particularly with the redesign of Manticore, there's a fun strategy. I don't know how super effective it is, but
Yeah.
like Mountaintop to launch yourself way up into the air.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
switch over to Manticore.
Yeah.
You can just hover around.
Just seems like a fever dream I had one time, honestly. Also, too, for the folks at home that may not have seen the Manticore kind of redesign, can you tell us a little bit, too, about how the intrinsic perk on that works now?
Yeah, so it's the base functionality of the way you use the weapon is fairly similar. We've tightened up its activation, so it will no longer activate if you're running downstairs and that kind of thing, which is pretty irritating. You can also just deactivate it by holding reload, and it will do that quick special reload animation.
Oh, very nice.
Before you have to wait for it to expire or like switch off the weapon.
Yeah.
And then the catalyst, instead of just giving you damage resistance, now gives you avoid overshield,
Huh.
which
Oh, nice.
Of course, also gives you damage resistance, but
Yeah.
can tie into void builds in a pretty simple
Yeah.
Very nice, honestly. Yeah, between that, Devour, the whole nine, obviously, there's going to be a lot of mobile weapon.
Survivability is wild. It also decreases enemy accuracy against you, similar to the always on time Sparrow. So
Yeah.
you've got a ton more like damage resistance. You've got an overshield, and enemies are missing you all the time. So it's combined
That's
with being able to
very
launch yourself up into
interesting.
the air easily with mountaintop.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
That's also too actually. We got a question from chat that is, what's the difference between the new perk and Golden Tricorn? They sound pretty similar.
They do have kind of similar functionality. The big one is that the Golden Tricorn bonus is large, but doesn't stack once you get it. So the uptime on the new perk, whose name I can't remember,
Yep.
it's not in this book, we changed it, is that the uptime is higher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Also, too, it's we got another chat as well. Chat question for me, I should say. Will the weapon ornaments for Luna's Howl and the Recluse be equipable for the new versions of those weapons?
Yes, they will.
Oh, awesome.
Both for the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. Players have already noticed that some of those are showing up later in the season.
Yeah.
In the Bright Dust Storm.
For anyone out there that might go ahead and check through the databases, they might have noticed something potentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't say yes or no, but maybe. Firm maybe, certainly.
That's just that's
Excellent.
literally
All right, so
basically a
we're-
confirmation of
Good
it.
job here. Tom, I got to say, it seems like you're making some pretty good, quick work of these lost sectors.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they're not on legend.
Maybe once or twice, potentially? You never know.
I did work on EDZ. It's been a while though.
So Tom, actually also too is, as you've kind of been helping sort of build a lot of what Into the Light is going to be, what was the role that these weapons played? Like why is Shaxx choosing now to go ahead and re-equip us with this particular set of antiquities?
And part of the idea is that it's like this forbidden arsenal, right? The things that aren't, that we've kind of set aside, at least in the Crucible and other spaces. And now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, kind of set aside those conventions and really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like having players in this moment with Into the Light, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if you want to catch up, and we're going to give you the weapons you need to be ready for the final shape. Like, as long as you show up every week, you do the work, you're going to get like an incredible arsenal.
Yeah, particularly if you had been like looking at some of the meta heavy grenade launchers. You can just walk in and get edge transit and like be like competitive already.
Yeah. And also too, I just got word from back at home that also Noah is apparently back at home after last week's stream in chat, cheering everyone on. So if everyone out there wants to give him a quick yeah, great in chat, now's the time. Alrighty.
He still needs to drop the Bungie ID.
Oh yeah.
I've got
strong.
I've got a Fighting Lion Pardon Our Dust loadout that obviously hinges pretty heavily on autoloading holster because I never want to stop shooting any grenades. I'm one of those. I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting some love for Noah in the chat. All right, love to see it. So also too, actually, over the course of developing kind of this new reward structure, was there anything about it where you're like, all right, this is the moment, like Onslaught is set up just right. Like, what was it like kind of building this structure for players to go ahead and just reinvest in, I guess?
Yeah. I think when we finally got the loot explosion going,
Yeah.
there was this whole conversation and how we want it to feel when you open the chest and all this stuff, and all these people working together doing tech stuff to make sure it all worked great and everyone doing their part, and then finally getting in there and just running through and seeing everything just like I guess all of your work just like flying through the air in space was just really satisfying, and it really felt like it was coming together. I'm also really partial to when we start getting more icons and world art coming in. The space really started to feel tangible when Shaxx finally had the guns in his hands in the and all the hollow Shaxxes for a while. They're just like this,
Did you guys have that vision of the hollow Shaxxes like right away? You were like, this is how we want it to be, or was it just what was the evolution of that space like when you guys were building it?
It was really fun working with world art and all this stuff. We had a bunch of people in the room, everyone who's dedicated to the space in some capacity, and we were just brainstorming together and laughing and coming up with all these fun ideas. So it was a huge collaborative process, and I think that's what's so magical about working in games is you get to work with all these people who know all these things that you don't. and make something so cool and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
also too, we
fair.
got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No.
No, it's had to be toned down a little.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very strong. But yeah, that original version is pretty wild.
Kind of in a league of its own, certainly. All right, Tom. So what's your strat right now? Is it basically just Old West gunslinger?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a chance to play with all these guns either, so I'm just having fun over here. Like you can do your stream over there. I'm just gonna play with Midnight Coup here, which is fun. It
That's
feels
fair.
so snappy and crispy. Like I just gotta point it in the right direction. And it
This
does
one
a lot
has,
of the work.
Explosive rounds and kinetic tremors. Is that what it has? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you can just, you don't even really need to be that accurate, I guess, with this roll. I can just kind of shoot around enemies. And
make
it
them
does-
dance like in the Old West.
Pretty sure this is still the highest aim assist of any legendary hand cannon in the game too.
Oh, is that so?
Jesus.
That's what are some roles, by the way? So obviously, I think they each kind of have their different PvP and PvE flavors. But in the PvE trenches, are there any roles in particular with this new kind of set of perks that you were really caught off guard by or surprised by?
I mean, Firefly Kinetic Tremors is really, really strong. I think that was actually the role that Noah was running
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, he was making it look pretty good,
Yeah,
thankfully.
he's smart.
Noah's all right at the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What else? I think the role that we've got here on Edge Transit, which is Cascade Point left column,
Yeah.
being able to just like mag dump
Yeah.
a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
The burst damage potential is wild.
And also, too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
There is always a chance. Those are the limited edition variants. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, just a quick reminder is the quests from chat, or from our site, rather. Those ones have a higher chance of giving you one of the limited edition variants, or?
Those give you the curated ones, right?
Yes,
Curated?
those are
That's
the
right,
curated
thank you.
ones. So pretty much that's a guarantee that you can get them. But anytime you get a brave weapon, there's a chance that it will have the double perks and the awesome appearance on it. So
Very
that
cool.
was actually a really fun thing. Once it kind of got that implemented, playing through the first time, you just naturally got one.
Yeah.
Like you'll be in a playtest time. Oh, I got one. I got
Yeah.
a limited edition one. It's just a really fun.
It's
fun
kind of
feeling.
even just that excitement of like when you're out there doing a dungeon farm or whatever the case is, and you're checking through all the guns that are sitting in your mailbox, and you're just like, oh, that initial set of rolls is pretty cool, and then you click in and you're like, wait, I can curate this to exactly what I want it to be. Like that moment's always pretty rewarding, honestly. So as a quick reminder to everyone in chat, so the Brave Arsenal will be able to drop from Onslaught at every stage, was it? Every 10 levels?
Yes, every set.
Excellent. Okay, set. Thank you very much. All right. See, we have the experts here, obviously. All right, Tom. What's next on the list? Which lost sector is going to wilt against your powers?
I think I'm gonna go, and I don't know what it's called, but it's on the top of the rocks here, I think, right? That's where it's at? I'm trying to remember.
So you just go ahead and drop on down in.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Those fallen aren't going to be safe for long.
Yeah. Can't die from full damage anymore.
It's true. Who could possibly do that? That's what we have the mountaintop to do, or to use for rather to get those kills on ourselves.
Oh, wrong way.
No, wrong way.
This is the right way.
Are you sure about this?
And actually, also too, so a lot of questions in chat about the pools of perks that are going to be available, the weapons that are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting Bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yep, yeah.
It's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them. So
Yeah.
no mystery about the perk pools as of tomorrow.
Yeah, excellent. So there will be plenty of opportunities for all the build crafters out there to go ahead and go nuts and kind of imagine their most exciting opportunities, really.
Oh, tomorrow that means the build videos are gonna start coming out.
Actually, so also too, we've talked a lot about the Brave Arsenal. Let's go ahead and touch on the parade set again. What was kind of the inspiration behind that set and kind of bringing it forward now? This is kind of like a full circle moment, rather, that I know Tom was mentioning. But why is Shaxx choosing now to equip us with this armor set?
I frankly wasn't as involved in those kind of conversations.
No, it's okay.
It was actually really
Here we go.
fun. Beautiful. Kind of waiting to see how we're gonna end up looking in the end, because we weren't
Yeah.
really sure right away which armor set we were getting, and
Here
we're
we
just
go.
so excited to see him in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think honestly that first look at them in the key art. Obviously there was an initial glimpse,
Yeah.
and it's weird because even as good as they looked, they were almost like everyone was just immediately captivated by Onslaught, immediately captivated by like, is that Blast Furnace in that Warlock's hands? Who knows?
They're trying to bring back players' favorites. Like there is so much nostalgia for that Parade armor set.
Yeah.
Like, bringing that back and updating it a little bit. Like I still run the Parade armor set on my character from time to time as well.
Gotta have that classic look, obviously.
Transmog, yeah.
And obviously getting a chance to go ahead and chase down Super Black doesn't hurt either.
Looks very cool when you break it out of containment too. Won't say much.
Excellent. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take one more quick run through. So is there anything else actually? So I know we've had a chance to walk through the Brave Arsenal. Tom, in particular on your side, we've gone ahead and kind of gone around the horn over here. Is there anything about this kind of new set of weapons and sort of the role they play in Into the Light that's got you excited about kind of the overall sandbox now that we're going to have available to us?
I'm really excited about a lot of these weapons are they're not god rolls, but they're pretty close to it. Like if you show up every week and you do the weekly quest, you're going to get something that is really pretty powerful. And it's going to be like, for example, just looking at like the Hammerhead here, it's got rampage and killing tally on it. That's just incredible.
Never stops
like for PvE, it just never stops firing, right? Like, and then you're also increasing damage every time you take an enemy out, which is cool. And I could look at each one of these weapons too. And
if they're not god rolls, people aren't gonna really chase them.
Earlier, but the edge transit with Cascade Point, like you get a kill and then you can dump the whole mag in like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really powerful. And I think people are going to find a lot of great synergies between these weapons. Like I was even like Mountaintop, Recluse, and Cascade edge transit felt great. Like I could like use the SMG while my Mountaintop is reloading, and then like getting kills with those activates Cascade Point, and I can swap over and dump the mag for edge transit. And like I could see similar things with Hammerhead and Forbearance, or with Elsie's rifle. And then like there's also just some classic weapons here that I really miss, that I'm really excited for Blast Furnace to be back, and I'm excited to see what it does to the meta with these being like relevant in the power game again, and being something that is accessible to players new and old.
Yeah. Someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, I'm terrified already. Proctor, thank you very much for all the hard work on that. To you and yours, obviously. All right, so I think we're probably getting to a point now. We've gone ahead and checked out the rewards. We've checked out the new social space. We've checked out the Brave Arsenal. It's probably about time for us to go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Mr. Tom Farnsworth, when you get an opportunity, feel free to go ahead and rejoin us. Relinquish your hold from the throne world, obviously. This is so fast. Your jump ship was right in orbit, wasn't it?
Right here.
I hear it's lovely this time of year out there in the throne world.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's Noah and Kelsey have been keeping it warm for me in there.
That's true. All right, fair enough. Yeah, and again, we can use some sword logic later to expand it when the time comes. But for right now, we've gone ahead and done our job. Well, for starters, thank you all so much for taking time to join us to talk us through, obviously, the Hall of Champions, talk us through the Brave Arsenal, through everything with Into the Light. It's been a great show. So thank you guys for starters for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. And also, too, as a quick reminder, again, to everyone, we'll be back next week, the same Bungie time, same Bungie place, to have another live stream about everything, or some more stuff coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light, including some exotic mission, some exotic mission content, and the craftable weapons that'll be available to them. Chat, I saw you mentioning some stuff about that potentially, so come back next week.
Exotic
also, we'll be
mission.
Go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you. Never know. And also, too, the final thing we're going to go ahead and make sure you close with is, as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault.
Yes,
as you can go ahead and see here on camera, we put it to good use ourselves. We had some edge transit rolls. We knew that this was the time and place to go ahead and slot in there. So we now have those, thankfully, in safekeeping now for the arrival of the Witness.
Ready.
Never hurts. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us today. We'll see you back here next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.